Hey folks, while you're remodeling your backyard to make it more, zen-y, we were remodeling our merch store to make it more random. We've slapped our new logo on t-shirts, tie-dyes, hoodies, and hats, and all with premium printed labels. Look, I wasn't kidding, we have it, because tags are like the junk mail of clothing. All merch is available exclusively at clubrandom.com. Once again, that's clubrandom.com. Well, the holidays are supposed to be warm, joyful, and relaxing. In reality, it's family stuff, money worries, end-of-year pressure, and everyone pretending they're totally fine. So, in the midst of all that chaos, make sure you leave in room to take care of yourself. Leave room for Rula. Rula is a healthcare provider group that makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to finally get the care they needed. Go to rula.com/random and get started today.
The business out here is not the business I signed up for a long time ago.
Yeah, but I bet the money is.
It's not like it used to be.
Toy Story?
Oh, that.
Club Random.
I'm having a fun time going. I'm going to say a lot of stuff tonight that might offend you. Get your phones out now and let's go through this.
Club Random.
That is not keep Mr. Allen waiting.
No.
I know he has.
I'm already bored.
Franchises to attend to.
Hey, man, how
How are you?
How are you, man?
You look surprisingly similar
I know.
to the last time I saw you, which was, I think, the early 50s. Or maybe it was our early 50s.
No, oh, God. Why do you start? No, I was just thinking about that. It was at a Grammy thing, or it was one of the awards, and you were hiding behind a plant somewhere. And I said, oh, he's kind of shy. Because I'd done the politically incorrect several times.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Right,
We were very excited because you were like the biggest name. We got Seinfeld on the first show and Roseanne, but then, we went to Washington. Was that where you were on? I don't know.
No, I did. I don't
23rd Street in New York.
Yeah.
No, it was a big thing for us. I always.
But when your studio was here at one point, wasn't it?
Yeah, then we moved to out here. We moved to ABC, and we've been at CBS. I've been in the same like parking space, phone number since 1996.
Yeah. Okay.
Through two different networks.
We're old now. So why do you got to go there?
I know, but you still do the road. I see.
Yeah.
I quit last year. I'd done it for 42 years, and I got off this year. This 25, I did not do any dates.
Didn't we pass each other at one?
I took your plane 1,000 times.
Right, and then, but at one of those, I saw you in the casino, and you walked by, and I ignored me. So I said, maybe.
I didn't.
You said you just walked by.
Well, I did. If I did,
it wasn't where you weren't doing the MGM, or what was I doing?
I was doing the Mirage for years.
Yeah, the comedy, whatever they called it.
No, not the No, I played the. No, I wasn't doing like the comedy cavalcade.
No. What was it called? The Legends.
I know.
Legends of Comedy.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. We all did that for a while. And that was a great room, and then
it's a great room.
I like that room.
Leno did it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There was like, remember the car? They had us like on.
Yeah. Nice. Mine was like from the 30s. I look like a car salesman. It was. My deal was I started at the.
Tim, you are a car salesman.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. What was the one with the guy across the street with the canal, Venetian.
Oh yeah.
And next to the Venetian is the. I don't know. Anyway, I played there for a while, and then
owned by Sheldon Adelson.
Yes. Still alive?
No.
Or he may be resurrected. I mean, they've got some sort of drug they do.
They've got a lot.
But that was a nice room.
If a man that wealthy dies, you know they don't have a cure for it. Okay.
Or they killed him because his kids want the money. It could be that.
Well, or because they're just very big supporters of Israel.
The Adelsteins, yeah.
And that's a controversial thing. I don't think it should be, but they are. But we won't get into that.
We could get into that because I took out of nowhere, my family on one of the trips I've taken. I might tell every year we do something really peculiar. RV trip, which I don't know, my wife was saying, she goes, I really always wanted to take an RV. I says, yeah, I don't know about that. We got halfway into it. I go, who dumps this thing? When they all use the facilities.
Right.
That's when women act really dumb. They go, "Oh, you're so strong, you do it." No, honey, it's not that it takes no strength. To just empty the valve that all the poop comes out of.
You know, I've never thought about that. No, really. So, like, I'd love to know what do you have to do? Like, I know when you're on a boat. I remember being on a boat, somebody's boat at Cannes, and a truck does pull up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Early on, the boats dump the poop in the water. If they go out far enough, they can do it. They don't do that anymore. At least they say they do.
I hope so.
But in an RV, there's a holding tank, and there's gray water, which is after washing dishes, and black water, they call it. And my wife and I said, it's just simple. It's a valve. You got to undo the valve, put it in a big hole in the ground, and pump, open a valve.
Where is this hole in the ground?
At the RV parks, they have a big hole in the ground.
Oh, they do?
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you got to,
but anyways,
to get rid of the shit, you have to park at the park.
Yes. And there's not, in my rich friends that want to do it, they go, well, I'll just get somebody to do it. And I go, oddly enough, there is nobody at an RV park that will dump your shit for you. They just won't. It's just.
And you don't want to, and you don't have to bring them on the trip with you. You don't want to do that, right?
Bring the guy on, or as I say, just don't take a shit. Tell my wife, just hold it. We'll hold it for 2 weeks.
But that's another thing. I've certainly talked to enough rock stars who talk about the tour bus.
Yes.
And the rules on the tour bus are all,
don't use it.
Which I find
the holding tank is this size.
Right.
It's there for looks only. Take a crap at the rest stops.
I know that's what they say, and I'm sure they do. I find that highly impractical.
It is impractical. They just don't think about it. They can only put so much in there. It's kind of, once you're parked, then you can dump the stuff.
I mean, one reason I
look what we're talking about.
One reason
what the fuck are we talking about?
And I'm not done talking about it here. One reason I quit.
I just started.
I mean,
because excrement is the end of everything.
I put a good deal of excrement in your plane because one reason I really don't want to go on the road anymore is because
that's what the problem was.
Well, I mean. Look, you and I are spoiled. When we, for most of this century, at least and I'm sure you, because it's your plane, I couldn't have even gotten to these gigs if it wasn't a private plane because I had to leave. I do my show Friday night. Okay, I couldn't. I have to go to do a Saturday night show Saturday. You can't get to Boise, which I know you're going to. Boise,
yeah,
not Boise.
Don't say it like that.
Don't ever fucking say it like that.
The other one is Waukegan, Illinois. I do some. It's a best club, best state, great town. There's no place to get there. You have to fly to Chicago and then take a two.
And the airlines are completely unreliable.
Right.
We'd miss half our gigs.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our justification. Why
I can't even get into it because for a long time I thought it was. I don't even like to say it because I was one day when I worked Home Improvement. I could do pretty much anything, but didn't know it because I just as a comedian that got a lucky break, got that show, really to get on Carson. That's the only reason I wanted to do anything. Was to get on Carson. I wanted to be a comic on Carson, which is a short, horribly non-funny joke. Incarcerated for many years, and when I was in there, I said I wanted to get on the Tonight Show.
Not many years.
3.
Well, it's not really many.
Okay. It's a bus stop.
Okay. I'm not saying I could do it.
No, I'm telling you couldn't. I wanted to get on the Tonight Show, so I did. I kept coming out here, but I'm a road comic. That's what I did. You started making money. An old buddy of mine that I now know, Seeger, once told me, once you start putting butts in the seats, you own it.
Bob Seeger?
Yeah. So a Detroit native, and he used to see me in Detroit. Yeah. And he'd said, you start going back, do morning radio, and for very tough on me because I'm a late night guy. And I said, once you start going back to the punchline, the whole series of punchlines were in the South. I started filling it up.
Punchline comedy clubs you're talking about.
And I come out here to see Jim McCauley to audition for the Tonight Show, and I'm a guy that does an hour. And he goes, I need to see 5 clean minutes. I said, I got it. So I do at the Ice House or Improv, and he'd go do clean minutes, and then I think he's there, and he's not. Then I do my regular act, and I talk about my nuts or whatever I'm talking about. And then he'd see me later go, you can't do scrotum jokes. I go, the first 5 was for you. And it never worked. He finally just told me, this isn't going to work. Can't do it. I can't. I said, geez, Macaulay, everybody knew I was hopping.
So wait, you got Home Improvement before you did the Tonight
Yeah.
Show? Because that is the opposite of what usually the template is they see you on the Tonight Show.
Exactly. Then you get it.
Right, because they saw Roseanne and they said, "Oh my God, her stand-up is a show." You know, they saw
It was all freaking backwards.
Oh, that's
I got
weird.
the stupid at the time because I focused once I got incarcerated. I said I don't want to ever do this again. So I want to focus on what I want, not what I don't want. Aim for what you want and just avoid what you don't want. That's a racing trick.
What's worse, prison or a sitcom? No, I'm kidding.
Prison or living in California under Gavin Newsom. I think prison, because at least you know what you get on Saturdays, you know, a pretty good meal. But anyway, so I did this whole thing and I did a Showtime special, Men Are Pigs, and that was when it's like Netflix. It was huge for them. Came out here, I did the 5 o'clock funnies. Remember that? Gino Michelini.
Very much, I remember it.
And I got, instead of 50 calls, I got like 8,000 calls. Who was that guy grunting talking about lawnmowers? Because it was really weird. So I started hooking up here. Then Disney wanted to have me do Turner and Hooch. I said, well, I already do it. Hanks is doing that.
Right.
Well, how about Dead Poet Society? It's Robin Williams. They wanted me to do a sitcom based on that. So greatest day in my life, I walked away from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who I adore, great guy. And I said, I walked out of the room and says, well, thanks. And he goes, the whole room was just stunned. We're offering you a deal at Disney. I mean, a holding deal or whatever they think it was. They had no idea what kind of money I was making on the road. So they were offering me like a week. You know, they didn't know that. So he calls me back in Detroit and he goes, did you just fly back there? And I go, yeah, I got to go through the South again. He goes, do you know we offered you? And I go, yeah, again, it was really a good idea, but I don't. And I'm not interested. He says, nobody says no to me. I've never had anybody say no.
Yeah.
He says, what would you want to do? I said, look, I like This Old House. I think that's a funny show. If I could do a show where it's I want to break things instead of fix things, blah, blah, blah. They do the show, get the thing. I'm a big star. Carson, people call me. Macaulay goes, he'd like to have you on the show. I said, well, I want to do the damn show as a TV guy. He goes, what do you mean? I want to do stand-up. So I'm standing there in the back, and he goes, well, go out and do some stand-up. Okay. You know what to stand and everything? I had no idea what to do. Walked out. Curtain hit me in the back of the head because I didn't walk far enough out to the star. And I bombed. I frickin' bombed.
But that's also backwards because most people, me, it was one of them, was doing stand-up, and I couldn't wait for the day when they said, you're big enough just to sit down.
Right.
Which is what I used to do with Leno, but I
Right.
was older and had my own show by then. But I would have died if they would said, you don't have to do stand-up, or you wanted to do stand-up.
That's all, because I saw all the guys,
so funny.
All Buddy Hackett, all that era I loved. Johnny sits down after I bombed, and he looks at me in between breaks. He goes, I hope you're funnier than that.
Whoa.
And I told him what the story.
Really?
I told him the story, and he goes, you know what? Come back next week. Do your stand-up fresh. I came back the week after that, killed but I was, already sitting down.
He was good to comics like that.
He really was.
I'm not sure ex-wives would say
No.
good. What's the word?
Not real connective after the show.
No. I mean, Johnny, as Ed said, Johnny packs a tight suitcase.
Yeah.
And also, for many years, was a drinker. And a mean one.
Well, who is it?
Me.
Oh, well.
I don't get. Do you get mean when you drink?
I've been sober now 30 years, and I know I ever wasn't a mean drinker. I was just a
there you
long-range
go.
drinker.
What does that mean?
You don't ever lay it up. 3 in the morning, everybody's going, we should hit the sack. I think I got a couple more hours in.
Yeah, but that's when you're young. You can put
No,
your
that
body...
was 30 years ago.
It's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you were...
It was tough for me to manage. I didn't, as I said, as most guys like me, if a little is good, a lot's got to be better.
Some is good, more is better, too much is just right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the American motto.
That's the motto,
I feel like.
yeah.
But I mean, I think kids, if any kids are watching this and they're in their 20s, they have this idea that when you're in your 40s, you're already over the hill because they see mom and dad, and it's like, and no, if you want to be a party animal in your 40s, I promise you, it's easy.
It's easy.
In fact, it's fun because you're a full grown-ass man or woman, I guess, could do it too, but for me, and now you know what life is. You're an adult. You have some money. You can be Frank Sinatra in 1960. It's awesome. But when you're doing it when you're 22 or 25, You don't have any game. You're dumb. You don't have any money. You just don't know what you're doing, and you can't pull it off.
It never. I drank when I was 11 years old. When I was a kid, I watched cowboy movies. I used to love when they. Still don't understand that the cowboys get on the horse and and they're sweating. They go into the saloon. They pour that brown liquor and they. And they get back on the horse. And as a kid, I'm going, that shit must be very refreshing. So I took a big jigger of Jim Beam, and it's like I drank gasoline. I was choking. I thought I was going to die. Any normal people would have said, I'm never going to drink again because that's horrible. I just said, I can get used to that with a little sugar in it. I kept getting, and then I would drink, and it never affected me. All my buddies are vomiting or passing out and getting in trouble with their parents. It never affected me. I would get used to it. It never was enough, never was not enough. It just didn't. I never said no to a drink. And I used to say early on when I wanted to see do I have a problem with alcohol? So I took a test, which was very funny. You take a test from Johns Hopkins, I think it was, to see if you were a problem drinker. And do you ever lie about the number of drinks you had? It depends on what you see by lying. So you are lying. Have you ever not gone to a party because they didn't have any? And I went, oh yeah. There's been a lot of weddings I've gone to, and they said it's beer and wine. I went, I don't like either one, so I'm not going to the wedding. Right. So I decided on that. And at the very end, you had these, 50 questions, let's say, and I kind of cheated on some. I gave them some, I thought I 10 out of 50, I admitted. And the bottom says, if you're taking a test to wonder if you have a problem with drinking, you've already answered your question. And I went, fuck, I got tricked by that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I remember fairly vividly the last time I overdrank, and I was in my 50s. So it wasn't like a long, long time ago. I mean, it was just too old. I was at a party, I think it was awards week when the people think we're always partying out here. We're not. As my friend Jimmy says, every star I know is blown and in bed by 9:30.
That's right.
But there's a couple of weeks around award shows when there are good parties.
Yeah, you bet.
And I was there, and Danny McBride, I love him, but his wife kept bringing over these shots, and the more you have, the more you forget how much you've had. And I mean, I was probably 55 or something, and I came home that night. My poor girlfriend at the time was supposed to meet me at the party. I seem to remember insulting the people she was with, just being drunk and thinking it was funny, and it wasn't. And got home, and they had to carry me from the driveway. I spilled out of the car, and she and my security brother-in-arms picked me up. I mean, that's way too late in life to do that. And it was the last time I ever did something like that. But and kids, again, the message here, keep partying. Don't think you're done when you're 35.
Get an Uber.
Yeah.
I said that was...
Well, I wasn't driving for
all the attention I had when I was really struggling with this, how do people manage it? Why are there people like me? And then I've known a bunch of comedians and a bunch of friends that struggle with weight. They do not know how to stop eating. I don't have that affliction.
I don't either.
If I take I have a buddy who says, how do you eat ice cream like that? Sometimes, because I can, after I dinner, if no one's around, I don't do this in front of people, I take a little thing of Haagen-Dazs and I'll take a couple spoonfuls out of the thing, but in the bowl. I like it.
You look like you're wearing the same clothes you did when you were on Politically Incorrect.
Right. Well, as I said, that food isn't my thing.
Right.
He said, if I started eating ice cream, I'd finish the tub. And I go, hey, I don't, I take a couple taste buds, I'm fine with it, then I put it away. I never knew and it was never that way with drinking and drugs. It's not I never knew. There was never enough.
Me neither. But, see, I save my sugar for alcohol. And I don't even have more than a couple of drinks a week. Like, only when I'm here, really, do I have a couple of drinks.
I wondered what that would be like. All my life, I said, two directors I did movies with that we did one in Venezuela. And he'd go, oh, boy, I'm getting dizzy. And I go, that's the point.
Right.
He'd have a drink and a half, and he'd leave it there, and I go, we're just going. We're just starting. He goes, oh, no, I'm I'm real dizzy. And I go, yeah.
Oh, I remember when I used to have a couple of shots before I left the house,
Ah,
just to warm up for when you got out. And I remember an era where, and again, I wasn't that young, I wasn't in my 50s, but first of all, you would know every night. Of course, I was never married, so they're different,
Yeah.
So you'd know every night where the club was, because it was different every night. Tuesdays it was at Chitty's, and Wednesdays it was Dingleberry's, and whatever. The Enema had a great, 3 floors going on Thursdays. So you would just go to these clubs, whatever the night was, and it was one of many stops. And each bar you'd go to, probably because you felt there wasn't, enough hot girls in this place, so you'd go to some other place. And you'd have 2 drinks at each of them. So it wasn't hard to rack up 8, 10 drinks in a night. And, that is so unthinkable now.
Well, I said, you made me laugh because I said, most people don't know that if there's no town I've ever lived in, I lived here a long time, I lived in New York and in Detroit, and on the road, that this place is dead at 9:30.
Totally.
It's the strangest thing about California. Everybody goes to sleep like at 9:30.
Because it's a working town, and movies and TV shows start at 6 a.m.
Right.
They've got to use the light if you're making a Western or whatever the fuck. Movies, do anything that's shot on film, sitcoms are gentlemen's hours. I did those in the 80s. That's a pleasure.
It is a pleasure.
Because, and you're one of the few people who's made it stick, boy.
Well, as I said, one of my staff members said, "You're like," and my wife, she says, "Why do you keep saying that?" And I said, "Somebody told me I was like the Tom Brady of sitcoms." When they asked me to do a third one, I said, "I thought they were kidding." I said, I don't know whether my generation, because all the people that I know that I would make it with are either dead or not the right gender. They're all, light-skinned European older men, and that doesn't fit the DEI thing that everybody wanted. They wanted, a potpourri of...
Well, you can have DEI in the cast.
Well, yeah, but then they said, I didn't want to get into that. I didn't want to patronize people.
Right.
If you're going to do a sitcom, it's just got to be funny. You got to have some drama.
I couldn't agree more. Not everything. Diversity is a great virtue. It's not the only virtue, and not everything in America has to look like Angelina Jolie's Christmas card. Sometimes, and it's always okay in reverse. It's like if there's something where it's just an all-black cast, and good, I'm all for it. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying, CBS put in there's a law from the union, I guess it came down a few years ago, that like every writing staff had to be 50% people of color. And I thought, what if this show they're writing is about a polka band in a ski town? Still?
No. There's probably an example where there are people of color.
No, it's just, and I love people of color, and I'm so glad that things are better than they used to be for people of color. But, it shouldn't intrude on the creative process to the degree it has in this town. It has intruded on the creative process. And by the way, lots of people of color agree with that. Because they want the creative process to be pure, too.
I've gotten into this. I've been doing this on my stand-up for years because I have a very mixed family between marriage, son-in-law, friends. I've been around people of color and in my family. So we have these family outings sometimes, and then you get into a couple cocktails and you have old light-skinned grandma who she calls darker-skinned brother-in-law and family members different names. And I said, and then one night we got into it, which I've never, Lenny Bruce started me on this whole thing. Back in the Purple Onion, changed my life.
Explain to the kids, you don't mean personally he did.
No, not that.
We're old, not that old.
I knew him as a child. That he started this whole thing where words don't mean anything. It's really the content of a guy's heart. It's a Martin Luther King thing. And then I started going with my brother-in-law. He says, "It's always you white motherfuckers do this." And I go, eventually I got sick. "What do you mean white?" What do you mean? Define that for me, because I got in the middle of it. It's such a... I don't like the term "you know." He goes, and I go, "No, I do not know." Are Japanese white people? He goes, "No, motherfucker, they're not. They're Japanese." I go, "But that makes no sense. Where are the ruling class in Mexico City?" If you've seen them, and I have, because I know a lot of them, they look, if you put them in a white shirt and they didn't speak, they look just like people from France, Portugal. So he says, where is Whiteville or White Land? Where is that? And I said, are Russians white? No, motherfucker, they're Russians. I go, okay,
Well,
where's the broad line?
They're as white as it gets.
Well, I don't know what that means. And
I do. The Russians are, it's like the reason why Republicans these days and for like the last 10 years have a thing for Russia, partly is
it's not the food.
It's not the food. It's like the last country in the world that's like, we're white, we're not changing that. We kind of love it. I mean, Putin is like,
Kind of love it, but I don't think they view themselves as that. I said, I have a Polish, my wife's family are Polish. And in a room, I got into this. Her father, great man, just recently passed, God bless him. And he goes, they were going, they're at this Polish club in Pennsylvania. We go for family vacations that way. And he go, Lastrovia. And I go, Russians. And the whole place stopped. We're not goddamn Russians.
Yeah.
I go, well, you look like Russians, you sound like Russians.
Okay, but Russia invaded Poland.
Right, and pulled that whole border time, like
killed a lot of them.
Killed a lot
I could see why they're
like them.
Pissed off
but
at you.
Close to the border, and then I wondered, Finland is always curious to me. Finland doesn't like Russians at all.
No, Finland, the people of Finland also exist in a country called Estonia.
Right.
Estonia was one of the republics of the USSR, the old USSR. The Baltics, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Lithuania and Latvia are like Slavic, like the Russians. Estonia are like the Finns. So they were always treated worse.
And the Finns beat them in a war way back when. The Finns and the Russians had some big war. I don't know the
They're right across a bay from each other.
Yeah, but they don't like each other. There's a part of that. And so my point was kind of circled around because I did my dermatologist one day, he goes, he couldn't believe this. I brought it up to him. He had a chart on the wall. It's called the Fitzpatrick scale. And dermatologists don't look at race. They look at the amount of, I think I get melatonin in the skin. It goes from 1 to 7. And I said, that's it?
Right.
It's the melatonin. There's the 1, which is Japanese, and then Nigerian or Pakistani, that sometimes there's really dark Pakistani or Indian, northern part of India. It's, very, very dark. He said, that's it. And then he looked at me and says, I wish I'd never shown you this chart. Because now I've been doing it. I said, you mean FP3 people?
And it was all just to sell you some Retin-A.
Yeah, well, but it was all about, but now I go, you mean an FP3 person? And, now I got to go through this whole explanation.
Well, the holidays are supposed to be warm, joyful, and relaxing. In reality, it's family stuff, money worries, end-of-year pressure, and everyone pretending they're totally fine. So, in the midst of all that chaos, make sure you leave in room to take care of yourself. Leave room for Rula. Rula is a healthcare provider group that makes therapy simple, affordable, and fast. They work with most major insurance plans, and the average session copay is about $15. That's less than the office Secret Santa gift. Getting started with Rula couldn't be easier. You answer a few questions and you're matched to licensed, vetted therapists who actually fit your needs. You could be talking to someone as soon as the next day. No long wait lists, no guesswork. So if you've been putting this off, don't carry that into the new year. Start off strong with Rula. Thousands of guys have already used Rula to finally get the care they needed. Don't keep putting it off. Go to rula.com/random and get started today. That's RULA.com/random. Take the first step, get connected, and take control of your mental health. Looking at it from 30,000 feet, big picture, isn't it amazing that the amount of melatonin in whoever's skin has been such a giant factor in how humans have treated each other, the wars.
You don't even start it with me.
It's such a trivial thing for it to be such a major factor in human history, right?
Okay.
When you look at it from 30,000.
30,000 feet up.
Yeah.
Now go 30,000 feet up, a little west of that, and look at a different way of looking at it. I look at it simply put, because I said, I am a empathetic person. I do it in comedy. I do it in my business. I've always been this way. I'm a philosophy major. I look at people and I listen. I learned to listen to people. And you learn more by what people say and what the questions they ask than the extra answers.
Right.
What they question. It's like CIA did a big CIA benefit, and that's their whole deal. They don't talk much.
CIA does benefits?
We did they gave me an award, which I didn't know how to say no to it. I even asked my people. I said, can you say no to a CIA benefit? It was here at the Beverly, but they gave one to Ellison. He was there for the Oracle. I didn't know. He was in,
Right.
Oracle that's how the CIA started. And Larry Ellison.
Is that right?
He had a lot to do with the original computer system for that. And the
Computer system.
Yeah.
He didn't start the CIA.
No. He had a lot to do with it. But again, you look at him,
No.
and I don't know what to say it, but I was there because I've done a lot for the veterans, and this was about the people that have died in the CIA.
I've always been supportive of the spy agencies. It's not like something that the woke appreciate. It's cooler to like say, oh, you do your spying and this and that. And yes, have they made mistakes? Yes.
Yes.
But, as George Orwell said famously once, most people sleep comfortably in their bed at night knowing that rough men are willing to do violence. The world is full of bad people, really bad people. I don't mean just like, woke bad here, just like, and we do need people like in the CIA, and they are dedicated people who do it without any, you don't get a plaque, you get the fucking star on the wall without your name.
And
right?
This was a sad night. I was there because of what I've done for the military, and it was a humble to be asked, and I got to ask CIA top brass. They go, "What is it you want?" Because I said, can I ask you some weird stuff? He goes, "What is it, Mr. Allen? What would you like to know?" Like they go from being big, we love Home Improvement or Buzz Lightyear, whatever you do, and I said, "Can I ask you a question?" They go, well, what do you want? And they get real serious. The leader of it.
Well, they can't tell you much.
Well,
or they
funny.
shouldn't.
He said, "What do you want to know?" I said, "Well, off the coast of California, 2 F Hornets saw some bulbs that went left, right, up, down." He goes,
They're aliens.
And what do you want to know?
Totally.
Well, if they were going left, right at a certain speed and then stopped and went the other direction, it can't be an aircraft. He goes, "And your question?" "Well, if it's not an aircraft, it would be a drone of some sort or a helicopter." And he said, "And the question is, did the Hornet pilots know what they were?" He goes, "What did they say?" He goes, "Well, they said they did." This went on and on for 20 minutes. And I realized at the end of it, he goes, "So what do you think?" I said, "I think they possibly were something that we didn't know or that they're covering. But why would they show a picture of it if they're covering?" He goes, "It's a good question." And I go, "What are you saying?" He goes, "You've learned more by your questions than any answer I have." And I went, "You sons of bitches." So you don't, and that night got very tragically sad because we were celebrating at one point 5 children that had lost their parents. And you met these kids, and it was about money that CIA will take care of them. And these people, those kids it was so emotional for my family that these kids will never know what happened to their parents, never know, all they're told is they will never come home. You don't know where they were, and that's all you're going to hear.
It makes me think of that bad day in Khost, Afghanistan.
Yes.
When they were after bin Laden.
Yeah.
It's in the great movie they made about getting bin Laden. And they thought they had a lead to him, which was his doctor. And so they brought him onto the base. And this is the CIA running this operation. And of course, the guy gets out of the car. He's got a wooden leg. And what's in the wooden leg is a bomb.
Bomb, right.
And he blew up like 6 people.
Right.
Like all CIA people.
Right.
And, they don't get the name. They get the star.
As far as I got it, you'd look at all these people. None of these people are armed. They go into areas that are dangerous prior to soldiers.
Oh, yes.
And act like insurance agents or a medical. They come off.
And they save a lot of lives ultimately because they handle something. Now, look, have they made mistakes? Of course.
Yes.
But they handle things in a clandestine way that is way better than a hot war.
Yes.
They
also do stuff that you don't want to know about.
You do not want to know about. You don't. And those are aliens, Tim. No, I'm not.
Listen.
I had the guy on the show recently. There's a movie out now. I wish I could remember his name.
Oh, wait a minute. No, it's
a movie. It has dozens and dozens of credible people from the highest levels of our security apparatus and the military.
And they even have what's his name from Trump's administration, the
Marco
Secretary
Rubio.
Yeah,
Isn't it a lot?
Yeah.
I mean, very credible people.
Uh-huh.
And they're basically telling us, look, they don't want to. They're in a precarious position. They don't want to scare people. On the other hand, things have changed so much. And my reading of this is, yeah, like 40, 50 years ago, we used to hear about the aliens. They landed in the middle of nowhere. They stuck something up your ass. It was always up your ass. But
several times.
But but that is.
When they found nothing, they went up my ass. They found absolutely nothing but two polyps.
Well, they should come with you on their RV trip. They could just
and
go.
just see it. You don't have to go up there. It's it's in this little tank.
Bring
underneath.
them in the RV. They'll do it for you. They work cheap, aliens. But like, I feel like that was really happening. They were really finding out about humans. It seems to have started right after we exploded nuclear weapons in 1945, which could have alarmed them. I don't know how much they were monitoring us before. It seems like now they kind of want to let us know we're here. As I said to this guy when he was on Real Time about this, I said, it reminds me of the movie where the detective or whoever, the bad guy says, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead already.
Right.
If they wanted us dead,
we'd be dead.
So they're watching.
Okay.
That's what I feel is the most logical. This is not crazy stuff. This is not Jewish space lasers. This is. Why wouldn't it be? There's nothing unscientific about it.
Here I am, CIA. So we're basically primitive compared to these people that can do this, monitor us without seeing.
Plainly.
We already have sent.
You especially.
You, of course. We've already sent a probe to Mars. We've had probes here. We got a probe that we sent to an asteroid. So
I had one up my ass.
In a justification for me, I said, if there were them, anything that we're seeing is a probe. It's a robot. It's not aliens. They've sent out. If there is something, there's no reason to come here when we can send a drone.
They say they have corpses.
Well, send a drone.
They say they have corpses.
The corpse could be a drone. It's just their version of a drone. It's not. They're not anything like this.
No, this is from like the late 40s.
Yeah, no,
and
but
50s.
still, what if that's their version of a drone? They manufactured a drone. There's a great movie called The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, I've seen it.
Right.
Of course.
I have the robot in my office. I got Gort. And in the original story, it was very twisty. It didn't come up in the movies that Michael Rennie, who played he came out and talked to us. In the original story, it turned out that Michael Rennie was the drone. Oh. The whole civilization was the Gort, and they had to make a human to talk to us. So they manufactured a human to speak to us because the Gort had nothing to say.
I don't think these are drones. I think these are little green men. They are. They're different from us, but not completely different. Everybody in that book, Communion, all these people who have the same experience and kind of gave the same testimony without knowing what the others were saying. They all talked about somebody who was like...
What's the name of the book?
Communion. Whitley Strieber, he wrote this.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a long time, like 30 years ago.
Yeah, but there's there's a French guy that wrote a book about... Shit.
Oh, you're not talking about the Raelians.
No. This is a guy who called them occurrences. Jacques Vallée, that's his name. And I can't remember the name of the book, but there's a little picture on the front of a kid walking into a light. And I'm on a train in Vancouver doing a gig. Took my family with me. Went from Vancouver all the way across Canada, which is it's just a gorgeous plane trip until you get to Calgary, and then it's like you're in the middle of Nebraska. It's just nothing wrong with Nebraska, but it's just nothing. There's no mountains. And the porter came by, saw that book. I was reading it. And it's all about a scientist that instead of looking at all these crazy people, these farmers that got taken by aliens, he just asked questions. He didn't judge. And he found so many similarities with no matter who had that, there were certain similarities. So the book was gone. And I asked him, there was a book sitting on this desk here. And he said, I don't know. He comes back 2 hours later, he goes, I'm sorry, I took the book. And I go, well, can I have it back? He goes, what is this book about? And I said, it's about I told him it's about occurrences, they called them. And he goes, why is that picture on the cover? And I go, what is the question about? And he goes, when I was a boy, there was a crackling noise outside, which is always smell of ozone, crackling noise, and things in threes. That's the things that always happen in the book. I went out, my little brother walked into a path of light, came out buck naked, standing there smoldering. I tried to help him on the ground, and then we made some noise. My dad opened up the window, sees my brother out there nude, me, wrestling with him to get him out, told us he thought we were screwing, not, sexually, but he thought we were,
Right.
don't you ever do this, and don't you ever tell anybody what just happened. And
Right.
my brother, never been the same. This exact thing happened to him.
This is not the first story from a person who I trust, who is not a crazy person or a drunk or a weirdo, who has said something similar.
Weird happened.
I just think it's more unlikely that all these things are just a coincidence or a hallucination. And again, there's nothing unscientific about the idea that we are not alone in the universe.
There is a physics problem with it. The thing that I've always wondered about is that in my head, I've had a million alien movies in my head that I like. The one that I wrote to myself is that the alien, when you finally talk to him, is that I didn't come from anywhere. I came from here. He said, everything vibrates at a different frequency. I traveled through a vibration and I showed up here. What saves your civilization is Jupiter and Saturn. They send off a real signal. So where I come from, we don't think there's any life here, so we didn't hear. If my people knew that I was here looking at you, you would never live through the day, because you're a virus. This doesn't work, and this is in my story in my head. Is that this alien shows up, and it was a screw up in his ship, and he crashes, and he keeps changing his shape in a weird way. He says, "Does this work for you people? All these different races.
Right.
Do you all get along? I don't
Right.
think you do.
Right.
Because in my planet, 55,000 years ago, we killed every other race. There's only one race on my planet. I don't say it's the right thing to do, but..."
And I remember their motto, from the river to the sea.
Oh, boy.
I have to tell you, David Mamet has been here twice.
Oh.
He lists like his four greatest. Do you know this about him?
But I did a movie with him. He's one of the most fun guys I've ever been
I love
around.
him.
Oh, geez.
I mean, we don't agree on everything.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
Who cares? Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
who cares,
always
yeah.
my theme. But he lists, like in one of his books, he lists like the four greatest movies. And I can't remember what the other three are, but they're like ones Citizen Kane and Lawrence of Arabia. You know what the fourth one is?
2001.
Galaxy Quest.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And it is a great movie.
It is.
I mean, it is a really fantastic structure, the script, the acting.
How weird that you bring it up today. I just posted it in my office. I have a picture of me fighting Ceres, which is the creature in that thing. And I remember in the movie, the guy, he's passed away, the guy inside the suit. It was so clever on so many different levels because so many different mistakes were made to get it where it was.
Really?
Oh, it was originally Spaceballs, a Mel Brooks movie. It was just really stupid.
I love Mel Brooks, but it's better than Spaceballs.
Well, it was really a simple comedy. It turned into this movie because Dean Pariseau is a documentary director. He took over the movie after they didn't want it, this Spaceballs thing, and he didn't want a comic in it. He wanted an action hero that could be funny, not a funny guy that could maybe do action. So they parted ways. And we got into
Stupid.
Oh, God.
The way they did it is the right way.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to do it the way they did it with you than the other way around.
The other way around. Believe me,
right? Comedy's hard. Death is easy. Comedy's hard.
I'm so thankful to be part of that movie, but I did this one scene with this guy, Ceres, was the big reptilian thing with this head, beautiful, and he's yelling at me, and I'm supposed to fight him, and I'm a comic, and I go, so what exactly would I do with a 7-foot reptile? I'm a loser from Earth, and so me and the actor, I said, where are his balls? Could I kick him in the nuts? I mean, would that be funny? And he goes, you think you're, and so our joke was, you're looking for these, like they're under his shoulder. It was
well, what would Bob Hope do?
Isn't that wild?
No, but Bob Hope was one of the great comics, stand-up, vaudeville. Right. They put him in movies because, he did become a parody of himself. But, those movies with Bing Crosby are funny.
They are funny.
And when he was still that wisecracking, playing the coward.
Right.
Reminds me of what you're talking about. Like, a comic knows how to play the coward, and make it funny.
But
and an actor is... actors, I love them, but thinking ain't their big thing.
did Shaggy Dog for whatever reason. I missed the mark to me, but Robert Downey Jr. had just gotten clean and was in it, and that guy is so freaking brilliant. He looked at comedy as just another form of drama, which it is. So he would do the comedy parts as though he's doing a dramatic piece. He'd get into it and he'd get into the dramatic piece. Then he goes, and then I got to be funny, as though it's that simple.
No, he is great.
He is so freaking great.
I mean, the Sherlock Holmes
Yes.
movies are great.
He is great.
Also,
he.
do you remember the one he did with Ben Stiller, Tropic Thunder?
Oh, yeah.
Which is just there. You probably couldn't get it greenlit today because it's so politically
incorrect.
You know, he does it in blackface.
Yeah, I know. Believe me.
And they did a documentary on it, and they showed outtakes, and they showed like him and Ben Stiller. Ben's just doing the directing, and it's a close up on him, and he's just doing take after take of variations of this speech he's doing. And Ben's like, "Oh, that was so great. Let's do another.
Do another one."
You know, that's a director's dream,
right?
To get an actor like that.
Well, that in his case,
that to the table.
I've never seen anybody where like he was so good. I told the director I was kidding. I says, "I want all this cut. I don't want any of this in the movie." He's making me feel like I'm so insignificant because I can't do anything that I can do the funny stuff like this, but he could switch to drama and you're buying it. You know, Iron Man, the first Iron Man, what I consider one of the best superhero movies ever made, he was able to be very serious.
Right.
And then he's in what kind of metal suit? He's in trash cans in that one of the scenes. You bought every single piece of business that he did in that thing. So he can do that funny. I did a movie with Mammoth, though, in Red Belt. And
oh, yeah, I saw it. I've seen all those movies.
There's no funny parts in it. And it reminds me of when comics are in movies. I've done some with Marty Short. And Marty, if he's not being funny in the movie, he feels like, well, he did another one, Rich Report, wasn't it? Jungle. And he'd do stuff, and you go, Marty, you're just answering the phone. Oh! And he always has to do something with his legs. It's oh! No, Marty, you're just sitting down. Okay, but I'm going to get up and,
No.
Oh!
He can't walk out.
He can't.
Without getting a bit. I mean,
Something-
whenever he was on Real Time, he'd walk out. And he does whatever.
He does.
He is just a laugh machine. Like
it makes me sick to my
The only other one like that is Dana Carvey.
Yes.
The two of them, like, they just can't stop. And their batting average is like 980.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
everything they go for
It's funny.
actually is funny.
I literally have to leave him at a Christmas party. I had to leave. I was getting sick because I can't. I'm funny with him for a while. Like if you're around Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams, it was
Similar, yeah.
It's very similar. He won't shut up.
Right.
He just keeps going. And my wife and I,
Right.
he came out of a gym someday, and we started talking about what was going on, and we knew something. And he's just doing bits, and my wife goes, "What just happened there?" He just kept talking. I go, and I had to translate. He's working on his relationship right now. He's got a movie coming out. And he didn't really like this. He didn't say any of that shit. I go, well, he's doing a bit about this. He's doing a bit about this.
But I got to say, both Robin Williams and Martin Short are really smart guys because they both did the panel of Real Time, which is a hard thing to do. It's mostly for the pundits. It's not for show people. That was the old show where we mixed the show people in. This is almost never that. And they found a way to still be Robin Williams and Martin Short without like taking over the show and making it into a carnival and also having serious moments and being thoughtful and to pull those both off. You could do it and you should do it, but you never respond when we try to get you to do it.
Well, my email is packed. Yeah. I have a lot of issues.
You're cleaning out your shitter in the RV. So wait, you go on RV trips, you go on train trips? Is that what you said?
Train trips and then this...
But why does a man of your vast wealth who has a private plane, what is it about like an RV or a train that you find, is it relaxing?
Well, I did it for my wife. She always wanted to do an RV trip. So we did all these... my youngest daughter went. She always wanted to do it, so we did it. And the train trip we did was in order to get to the Orient Express. I wanted to be on that train. I love trains, so I did that train from Paris to not Paris, Rome or someplace in Italy. And you're on a freaking train that's like it's like an opera house. Everything's $2 million. Everything
What?
you touch, but you're on a freaking train. So all night long.
What do you mean? You're saying it's ornate?
You can't get more gold in wood, and everybody's got to.
Oh, ask Trump.
Well, yeah, no, this is even past that because everybody.
No.
You got to wear a tuxedo into dinner. You got to wear a necktie. There's a piano player, and it's an amazing experience.
Look, I don't want to get into politics, but this is and I don't the gold. I don't care.
I did,
but it does look like Saddam's palace.
It's
and I don't care.
You can't stop.
That's his taste.
That's his taste.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I met the dude at a dinner with his wife, who was genuinely a wonderful person, and he was more. This is, I think, the second to last year, the last year of The Apprentice, and he was thinking of moving to Los Angeles and being a movie producer. And he was talking about movies. He said,
Really?
He said, I really like the film business. More than that, the guy's addicted to comedy. He was so, I was, killing at the table, and he's going, what a gift to do that. He's laughing about this and that. And he was a genuine one of the guys, I don't know if he was like, he sits and talks like that. When he listens,
he's a good listener.
He's a good listener.
I go, this is what the left hated me, that I went to the White House and talked to him and then did not lie and say he was a monster in the White House. I just said it's the truth.
He's not a...
You got to meet him, you got to deal with him on a personal level.
And then you go, who is it? It reminds me, and I love Howard Stern. It's like Howard in person is a genuinely kind, wonderful guy, but he gets on the air and I don't know what happens. I always said, if I was the adult in the room, I would take Donald's phone away from him and get him involved in infrastructure. Here, he would. I don't even know when people hear this. He was talking about how to do the roads. I'm a road freak about potholes around my neighborhood in L.A. We don't take care of our roads. It's just one of these things. And he was, to fix the roads in D.C., you got to get the underlayment first, get the sidewalks done. And he went off, and he was one of those news things where he's talking about how quickly he could get the road done quickly in Washington, D.C. We don't need the underlayment, but then asphalt on top of this. And I'm going, that's brilliant. It's not $800 million. I could do this stuff for $6 million tomorrow, and we will get it done.
There's almost nothing he surveys that he doesn't want to fix, whether it's the Kennedy Center. And look, believe me, I am not on the page with a lot of his fixes.
I get it.
But he looks at Venezuela, we got to fix that.
Fix it.
No ballroom, we got to fix that. Asphalt, we got to, there's just nothing that he doesn't want to personally. He does have enormous energy. You got to give him that.
And I said, just keep him directed on our infrastructure, keep him directed on the power system, the power grid. But I said one of the times there's, and I want to out a couple comics. We were sitting there watching one of his speeches, and there's a couple of them, vintage comics, and two young guys, and they said...
Vintage?
Well, I'm saying that Dreesen. I love Tom Dreesen.
I just love the term.
Well, he's vintage. Dreesen was opening act for Sinatra.
Trust me, I'm getting ready for the day they call me a vintage comic. So,
come on, we're like a couple hours away from that. This is Jesus Christ. Do you even know the young comedians that people call me all the time?
No, but I love to go to the Comedy Store every once in a while and just sit in the back. First of all, it brings me back to those days. It makes me very happy about my life, which is so much cushier now than it was when I had to endure that. Because not every night is a singing, smiling success, as we know from those days. And it's just fucking entertaining. If they're bad, it's like watching the Indy 500 when there's a car wreck. It's not boring. If they're good, it's awesome because you're laughing. And it's just I just love doing it.
I'm everything I hated now. I used to hate it when you get there 8 minutes at the Improv or whatever you get that short time, and then all of a sudden Shanley would show up and everybody has to back off, and he does 40 fucking minutes, and you go, it's a big shot, he needs it. And now before I go on the road, I go to Laugh Factory and I'll do an hour. And so there's all these guys lined up, and
so you can elbow your way past them.
Yeah. So I come in, the whole room changes, and I do it.
Good for you.
But now we do it. So I've worked it out. So the guys get.
It's good to be the guy who needs no introduction. Let's just say it that way. It just is.
I just love what I do. I love being able to do stand-up still. I'm not, I still have the guys.
My hat's off to you. I knew there was the moment came. And it was like, boy, this hurts. This is like cutting off my leg. Stand up? Are you kidding? I did 13 HBO specials. I have been there. and always kept it up, like never phoned it in. I kept that act up because, it takes, people said to me, well, just do a few dates here and there. You can't.
You can't
You
do
have
that.
to be in shape. I was on your plane a lot.
Don't get me started on this.
No, I was.
Well, I know that. I've been doing this show and a movie. So this next tour, I haven't been out for almost 9 months. And my people are going, well, just get back into it. It ain't quite that simple.
No, not that simple.
It's not that simple. When I was off for
No.
the last the first 2 years of Last Man Standing, there was too much going on. So I was off for 2 years, and it was really difficult to get back. And then I realized I feel like I'm Rod Stewart all of a sudden. I do Maggie May. I'm an egg, a comedy egg. I'm really about timing and pace. And so I do some old material, and I just reshuffle it. And then I'll do the opening is like 20 minutes of what's going on now. But generally, I don't do current events. I stay away from current events.
Why should you?
Well, I said it's just because these days.
Where it fits, it fits.
It fits.
Sometimes it fits.
I have I'm having a fun time going. I'm going to say a lot of stuff tonight that might offend you. Get your phones out now and let's go through this. When I say these words, this is what I mean.
You know what? You're iconic. It doesn't matter. You can offend them, and the people who are offended are the type who will get offended at everything and are just looking for something, and it will not affect your life or your career.
I get it.
Which has been
what I'm having fun with the words. I said this word. This is what the word means to me, and I just.
But who did you say you were like Tom Brady of sitcoms? That's not really a good analogy. It's more like there are a few people. When I was a kid, Michael Landon.
Yes.
Ted Danson.
Wow.
There are a few, William Shatner. There's a few people who the audience continually wants to see in a show. And so they keep doing show after show. And they're always hits.
Right.
And you're in that very small pantheon of people like that. You keep doing these shows.
Don't know why.
What?
Wait, I said, I keep looking at when the girls at Fox, the bosses at Fox that got me doing it, and then ABC bought Fox, so now it's back on ABC. And I said, "You guys are kidding, right? You think I should do another sitcom?" And they said, "Yeah, we think even in today's climate." And at the same time, I was doing Santa Claus, the streaming series, and I said, "I'm doing a streaming series for you right now. I can't possibly do a sitcom at the same time." And I said, "Well, if you did it, what would it be?" And I said, "Well, number one," and I listed the stuff I want to talk about, which is grief in this. So I wanted to have a guy that just lost his wife. Mm-hmm. I want to own a car shop, which I do in North Hollywood, next to a dance studio, which I do. And the art forms, the people that know, I have a passion for people that know how to do stuff. Like, I love tools.
Real stuff.
Real stuff. People that know how to plumb.
Yes.
And I just...
so many people who go to college and study bullshit.
They don't know how to do anything.
It's just like, okay, you have a major in, the queer poetry of the Asian diaspora, but
there is a lot of demand for that.
Where does that fit in?
Don't throw that out.
I hear Shifting Gears comes back on January 7th.
You just heard that?
No, I've been reading about it constantly.
Oh, God, it's in every frickin' publication.
It's funny because
Trump was talking about it just the other day.
Yeah, I was, again, I obviously, it's pretty plain, don't plan anything during this show. Yes. But if I was planning, I would have said, of the three, put upon white guys that you have played, because I do feel like that is the through line.
Right.
You're the pimp. People like to see you as the put upon guy.
Well.
And it does work. And why not work with what works? Mm-hmm. Have three characters that have something in common, but also show a different side of you as you phase into these different eras of your life. Right. Is that a correct assessment?
Very correct assessment. That's why I did it. I said the first guy loves construction equipment and the contracting business, and he had a Sage Wilson behind the fence. Second guy was outdoor equipment. Where they used to sell outdoor equipment, guns, and all that stuff. And that guy had Hector Elizondo, who I just saw today, who was kind of the father figure. This one, I am the father figure. Right. Lost my wife, and my daughter, Kat Dennings, who's terrific, wonderful, wonderful. And she comes in, we have a bad
She's-
relationship. and
She's a great sitcom actress.
She's a great
She's great on your show, and she was great on the Two
Broke Girls. She's a
She
tremendous.
just has that. I did sitcoms. I know
Yeah.
a great one when I see one.
She's great at that. And Daryl Cho Williams, who was on Galaxy Quest.
I remember he used to be on Politically Incorrect in his wheelchair.
Yeah, and he's the cast is freaking terrific on this. And I said, what's, I keep forgetting our rehearsal yesterday. We come back on the show in January. We're on a break now, and it is so much fucking fun. And then the cast has not done live 5 or 4 camera with live audience. We still have a live audience, and they're addicted to what I'm saying. It's a combination of stand-up and movies. We still have cameras doing that cut move, and then you have an audience in there. And I don't know if it's a dying art. I don't know, because as I've told many people, that's what this started with. Vaudeville.
How much do you put into it?
Quite
Like I'm talking about the writing.
Quite a bit. I mean, in my way.
Because
I don't get up in the writer's room. I'm down there in the set, said, this doesn't make any sense.
I may have told this story before on this show, but I don't give a fuck. I did in my fallow period after a lot of careers, they like have a start and then before you think you're on your way, and the show business says you're not on your way. Like yours was going to prison.
Right.
It's like you're not quite on your way. You're
look at the time.
You're actually in prison.
Now let's go
Mine
back
was just
there.
I was just in show business jam.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So like I had done a sitcom. It looked like I was on my way. It got canceled. So then I was like the chimp who like does guest stars on other people's sitcoms.
Yeah.
And I did the Bob Newhart. The second one. Remember the one? Daryl and
Yeah.
So I remember that week. They were very nice to me. I was the guest star. Don't remember what I was playing. But I remember Bob Newhart. It was his show in the title. And he only made one suggestion the whole week, like during a read-through. I don't remember what it was, like, why don't you, put a hat on the moose or something. And when we shot the show, it was the biggest laugh.
Yeah.
That's what I remember about Bob Newhart. That blew my mind, that he made one suggestion. He didn't want, he was at that phase of his career, like, it's not my job. I don't want to be like the guy. You be the guy. I'm 65, you're 40, you do it. But when I do say something,
it's got like that with me, and I don't want to be this crotchety old fucker. And I did, I said,
too late
but
now.
I don't need a person under 30 telling me how to be funny.
No.
And sometimes
you definitely don't need
I
that.
just don't. I don't know how to say it. And what always comes down to is I said, listen, I can't tell you I appreciate crew, writers, everybody. You do all the work. I literally do very little. But what happens is somebody's going to have to get on the horse and ride it. Somebody makes the shoes. Somebody feeds this horse, everything. But eventually I have to ride the horse, and none of you are going to be on that horse. So at one point, I will ride that horse the way I ride a horse.
But you say you wanted to do about grief and losing your wife. Now, this wasn't just like wish fulfillment.
No. Oh, God. Honey, he's kidding.
Oh, like she's watching this.
Yes, well, she will be forced to. Get the whole family. You will watch what we do. This is what pays the do-re-mi.
Well, my guess is that this is the dad they see, because this is you as you. This is why I love doing this show, because it's not like my TV show. No. There's no preparation. It's just me as I am and you as you are. But I'm guessing your family on the train or on the RV after you get the shit out, this is how they see you, right? Dads are like a cool guy. You're a very cool guy.
Or my youngest, because I did it to her one time, because she's very funny. And she played my daughter in Santa Claus, and by accident.
Oh, really? That's your daughter?
Yeah, it's Sandra Claus.
Wow.
And so one night at dinner, she's given me bits, because she reads scripts with me. I do a lot of my bits. I tried, I looked at her one time, and I just said, I'm eating. She goes, and I go, didn't land. And I just said it under my breath. She goes, and my wife goes, oh, that was hurtful. And I go, no, that's why I'm not laughing. You can't.
It's hurtful to you.
You can't make me laugh.
Right.
So now, anytime I do a bit that just kind of, I'm working it. You work a little bit. It doesn't work until you get the time right. And my kid just now didn't land, Dad. didn't land. And now it's become kind of annoying.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it's not funny.
That is funny, though.
Because now I don't know if it's working or not, because she's really...
Yeah, but it's good to have a little inside joke in the family.
Yeah. No, I was going to say this. You out of nowhere, because I keep these subjects so bright, is this is why I said I took my family to Jerusalem. I've never been there. We went to Cairo, which is...
Different.
Yes. Different is come in at night. There's a Four Seasons hotel. I think that's where we stayed for the night. You go, wow, this is gorgeous. The Nile and the city. You wake up in the morning and you're going, when are we leaving? When can we get out of this? This is horrific. The traffic, when Mubarak was taken out, zoning went away. So people would just build buildings in the middle of the street. The nicest staff at the hotel. I had security detail that took us around, wanted to see the pyramids, which we viewed from a Pizza Hut, which is right across the street from the pyramids, and there's a Sheraton Hotel. You don't see that in any pictures.
No.
And then...
There's a Pizza Hut across...
Pizza Hut, and one of the best Pizza Huts I've ever been to in Cairo, which was startling. And
this is at Giza?
Yeah, the pyramids are right there. You talk about aliens.
How close can you get to the pyramid?
We took a tour, took the camel ride.
And you go right into pyramid?
You can go, if you go in, if you want them. The Giza
Do
one.
you go in?
You can.
There's an entrance?
Yeah, I'm a claustrophobic guy, so there's a little tunnel that's like this. Then I went, you know what? I don't want.
I'd do the same.
I don't want to do that.
Right, but people do. They shimmy into the tunnel.
Shimmy into the thing.
Did anybody get stuck?
No. The alien thing that you say came with me. I said, please, anybody, these don't belong here. There's nothing anywhere near. I say this to everybody that's been near them. There's nothing like this on the earth. Why'd they stop making pyramids like this? They make pyramids the Aztecs now. Those are step pyramids. These were covered in white onyx with a gold top, and they're in an L shape. From 30,000 feet, it looks particularly like some sort of a marker of something, but there's nothing like the pyramids. Cut to, we went to a
those are big blocks.
Nothing makes sense.
How did they get the blocks there?
Well, there's some guys that say the Nile used to be much closer to them, and you could just slide them up on the mud. There is a way.
I had this argument with somebody, and they did make a very compelling argument once with one word. I said, how did they get all those giant, very heavy blocks in that age? And they said, schleppers. It's kind of true.
Yeah.
They had slaves.
And then
this fucking
their story was
block
they were paid very well for the time.
Zero. Was not well.
Well, but I get to Jerusalem, and number one, it's not anywhere near what you can visualize.
I was there.
Palestine is right there.
Right there.
And it's just a fence. There's no guards everywhere. And he says, you don't see this on CNN or anything else. I said, it's right there. He says, there's really no problem. And you go to the border, we wanted to see Bethlehem. There's just a gate, and there's a Jewish guard on one side, a Palestinian. He goes, and they both wave to each other, open the thing. Then you have to get into a Palestinian driver's car, and he drives you to Bethlehem. You go, there's a little shopping mall by there. And it was not what you think. And it's not what I thought. It was not, I don't know, the problem was, and as I studied it, I don't know, it depends, it's called historical priority. It was Donna Hearn, this wonderful woman who was one of Reagan's historians who passed away. She's just a brilliant woman that said, she goes, historical preference. And it's a terrible term to me now. It depends on when you want to start.
Historical preference.
Yeah, because people say, well, if you start here, then the Palestinians have a point. Yeah, but if you go back 2 days prior to that, they don't have a point. And where you want to go in history.
See, apropos to my point about the kids don't know about the history and don't care. I had this argument with someone recently, and they were, one I had right here with someone on the show, and I think we're still friends, but I mean, it got very heated about, I said, if you had to live in the Middle East, where would you live? Don't you think it would be Tel Aviv? And, it's Cairo versus Tel Aviv. I mean, I'm sure they're lovely people in Cairo, but as a woman, and she was wearing a sleeveless dress, I don't think you'd be comfortable there. And I had this other discussion with this other person, and they were like going on about colonialism. And I said, when was Muhammad born? No clue. No clue. And they're like, what does that matter? Well, it matters a lot because there was no Islam before Muhammad.
Right.
So does it matter? He was born in 570 AD.
Right.
Okay. You have no clue. I couldn't get it, say BC, AD. The fact that King David had a kingdom 1,500 years before
Right.
Muhammad was even born, it is relevant.
It is relevant.
It is very relevant. It's not to say that the Palestinians don't have a right to that land also, which, again, the state of Israel has acknowledged from the beginning. Can we just share it?
Do they now? It gets
They're a little tired of asking the question.
well, and not only that, mistakes have been made.
Yeah.
And I said, so my studies went back to Greek origin of both parties. Hebrew, which is a Aramaic term that means migrant.
Really?
So that they might have both
Wait, say that again.
It-
Hebrew is an
is an
Aramaic term?
Aramaic term means migrant. So they all migrated, and they could possibly, and someone's going to say, where'd you read this? And I can't even remember, is Palestinians or Philistines.
Yes, Philistines.
Is Philistines
Where
and
it came
Hebrews were actually related. And they both came.
Philistines were the Hebrews.
Yeah,
they were just a class of
a
the
different
priesthood.
class. And so
Right.
I'm in this story, and it's a lot of this stuff. You all of a sudden you wake up and it said it was two tribes come from Greece on that era, Gaza, and they wanted to land deal whatever the problem was. They said, well, we'll settle this like a wrestling match. We're not going to fight it out. It'd be your strongest soldier versus our strongest soldier.
Oh, okay.
And the Hebrews had nothing.
Yeah, they did that in those days.
The Philistines had one called Goliath.
Goliath,
And it
right.
wasn't a giant. It was just a big guy like The Rock. And
Right.
the best the other guys could have was, Tom Selleck.
But-
It didn't work out.
But the
And
Jews had David Scheinbaum.
But he didn't. But so I make it not a gag.
That was his
but-
last name. People don't know that.
They don't know that. So David, he goes, I can take him. And he's got the little loincloth on. Whoever it happens, I think he just went like knocked Goliath out. And the Jews said, well, and they go, we did say it. We're not happy about it. You can do what you want to do. And I said, so that's just a story. Cut to, I'm in Jerusalem. David was the king. It did happen. It was some version of that.
Well, there definitely was a kingdom 1,000 years
yes,
before
and
the
David
birth of
was
Christ.
the king of
Absolutely. There was two kingdoms, some Judea and Samaria.
Yes.
There were two kingdoms. There was definitely a kingdom. The Wailing Wall is still there.
Still there.
I mean, it is
Jerusalem is still
It was
there.
a wall of the temple that the Romans destroyed in 70 AD.
All these creatures in our, whatever you call us, Homo sapiens or whatever the fuck you call us, you're in Jerusalem, and then the guy, he was a Zionist guy, and his sister was a Hasidic Jew, or the very religious Jews are not Hasidic, and we got to go to into the old city and be with her for a minute, but he was Zionist. He was really not. He's Jewish in heritage only, but he was not a practicing Jew. And then out of nowhere, you go, and that's where Jesus walked through here, and then you're going, it never occurred to me that the dude actually existed.
Right. Well, he may not have.
Not according to this guy, because he said, that's where he did, that's Bethlehem, this is where he walked, this is a Zionist guy, said at one point,
Okay.
he goes, probably the strongest, most powerful Jew ever. And then my kid, who's been in a Catholic school,
Totally.
she goes, sir, I go to a Catholic school in North Hollywood, and he was a Christian.
Oh, my
And then
God.
I'm looking at the guy, and I'm going, hey, sir, let's not have an
Yeah.
argument. Let's not have a 50-year-old.
This is the kind of thing I say to them. It's okay that you said that to me, but just don't say that to anybody else, because they'll think you're really stupid. Really. And that's like a major one, that they don't get the whole Jesus was a Jew
thing.
That Christianity came out of Judaism, that, for the first 100 years after Christ died, it was sort of a debate. They were still known.
Not even a debate. Now, this last trip, I want to take my family to see the Aegean Islands. In a long story short, we went to walk these islands because I wanted to stay out of Athens. I love Greece. I love Greek food, and I love being there. I had no idea who St. Paul. His name Saul, actually. His Jewish name.
Saul of Tarsus
Saul of Tarsus
became St.
all
Paul.
over Greece. You're going,
Right.
I've read about him. I went to, I was an acolyte.
He was Greek.
He was Greek.
No,
Stoic.
no, Luke was
Roman.
Greek.
No, the
Luke
Paul,
was
Saul was this, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm reading this now. I'm reading this guy.
Now, Saul was from Tarsus. That's
Right.
not Greece.
No,
that's
but
present-day Turkey.
But he was a Jew, and he was a prosecutor. And
Everybody was a Jew.
He prosecuted, but he's a zealot Jew. Prosecuted Christians.
yes.
Prosecuted, and then
Undoubtedly gay.
in his
No, really. He seems
Okay,
he's very hostile to women.
right in his prosecutorial thing, he changed his name to Paul, and he said, "This is a story. I'm telling you the story." And 4 other people were with me on the road to Damascus. A light so bright blinded me. Jesus shows up. You know, my comic says, "What's your frickin' problem with me?" And he goes, "Oh God, we screwed up." He goes, "You're damn right, you screwed
Yeah.
up." And he told his acolytes. He said, he went back to Jerusalem and said, "Guys, we screwed up. I think we did kill the actual living entity, whatever you call it."
Well, they had to fulfill the destiny of mankind.
Whatever it was. And he
know.
said, "So I think we've got to include these pagans into Judaism." And they went, "Oh no, you don't have to eat no pork. You don't have to be circumcised," which goes like every comic's done that joke. With the first guy that was circumcised, he's going, "Hold on, you want me to cut the
That
tip
was
of-"
my joke. That was my bit.
With
What do you
the-
mean comics? That was my first.
Oh,
like,
you own that joke.
I did.
You want me to cut? You want me to cut the tip of my
don't-
what off?
Correct.
That's your joke.
Totally. Yes, I promise you, I could show you the films.
I want to see it.
This is
biblically.
1982. But this is what happens to good humor sometimes. It gets like through the mists of time, like it just becomes like, generic or no, somebody actually always came up with the first joke.
Hey, listen.
Somebody once said, I spent a week in Cleveland one day. And now everybody, but somebody actually wrote it. And I wrote that one.
This is the weirdest thing about comics.
I promise.
I toured with Kippadata when I first started out, and this guy on stage, his timing was so freaking unbelievable. How he paused between, I was amazed. So I stole his timing. I never stole his jokes, and then I go, Robin, God bless him, if you were doing bits in front of him, there's a chance you'd see your bit on stage in a version of that.
Tim Thomerson punched him out.
Right.
Just for doing that. Punched him in the face.
George Carlin, who I saw him early on in my career, same with Pryor, I said I wanted Carlin to come see me because I'm really getting hot. And I said, I don't see other comedians because there's a good chances I will absorb some of your material.
Said the same thing to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then who was it? Oh God, the guy's so funny. He's white.
White. That narrows it down.
Not skin tone. The name. The name.
His name is White?
Yeah.
Bob White?
No. But anyway, my wife I loved, he'd scream a little bit. He was really active. Oh, gosh.
Sam Kinison?
No, it was that type. And my wife saw me doing a big show in Detroit, and she goes, you're starting to do that guy. And I go, I am, aren't I? I'm doing my routine like that.
Really?
And I did this once with Rich Jenny, who passed away.
Yeah.
And I said, we toured together for quite a while. And at one point in Atlanta, we flipped acts. He did my act, and I did his act.
Come on.
It was fucking brilliant. And I said, why couldn't a comic do that? Like they cover music. Well, I go up there, hey, everybody, I'm going to do a little bit of Bill Maher, go into a little Jerry Seinfeld, and I end up with some Richard Pryor. Hope you enjoy it. And just do your bits. Why? If you mentioned that you were doing
your bits as them?
Yes.
Wow.
And Jenny did my bits so stupid that they were funny.
And now you got your own plane that I had to rent. I always enjoyed it.
Oh God! This story only is because I'm embarrassed because I thought they were environmental. I thought because they blow clean air, and I'm a car guy. I had no idea that planes. I can't talk about environment or anything because of that.
Yeah, but
I can't. It's a horrifying thing.
It's a pleasure to find out that you're like so interested in so many different things and at such a deep level. Because, not that I thought you were just the tool and car guy, but I think look, you like to play that part. I mean, it works great for you. But, you're kind of like Leno, like a lot deeper than you let the public see.
Well, yeah, thanks for that, because I said Leno is like that.
He is totally like
he
that.
is that.
I always think if Jay would, the things that twice he's done this one, like if the public could only see how incredibly funny you really are, and they already think you're very funny, and you are very funny, but you're not even close to like how great you are when you just like let the guard down.
Oh well, I said what a good experience this is. I wanted to get. Oh, this was what it. The St. Paul thing. Going to go back to that because what he said, I loved about it. He said, listen, I'm going to change, and it's what's happened in my life. I was a philosophy major, and Paul, he's a Stoic. So he's a Greek philosopher. Now he wants to include the pagans into the Jewish religion because he think we shouldn't have murdered this guy, Jesus. I think he was telling the truth. So as I'm not going to be a prosecutor anymore, I'm a Jew all the way. I'm a Jew. And they go, we're going to kill you. He goes,
Let me finish.
Let me finish. But he did this. He goes, and several times he goes, the problem you're going to have with that is I'm also a Roman citizen. So they couldn't, every time he says, take me to court, but you got to take me to Rome, and they're going to put me in front of a magistrate, and he's committed no crime against Rome. And he said something very intuitive that I'm still studying, because he says, law was basically invented to develop sin. Without law, you don't know what sinful is. So law was basically just to give you guardrails of what the world is. And what you're going to find is the cycle of ignorance with philosophy. And that's where I've been in the last 20 years. Philosophy gets run in these circles. It can't explain anything really. And this guy that changed my life, Wittgenstein, this philosopher, said, I really don't know that the words I'm saying to you are, if I was in your brain, I'd go, what the fuck are you thinking?
Right.
And I was getting very depressed about this because I don't really know if anybody knows what anybody's. We're lucky that we're to even get through stoplights.
Right.
Then I'm on stage one night, and a brilliant light hit me. I go, bullshit. I make a living making people laugh because they know exactly what I fucking mean.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I'm doing stand-up in this big auditorium. Where was it? In Denver? When I get into these 5,300 seaters, I feel like a mega star with the balconies. And I go, you think that's funny? Where do you get the bit on this?
You are a megastar. You have two franchise movies. That's a.
But
Tim,
I said that wasn't the purpose. The purpose
no,
of
but
the stand-up is what I
that
love.
accounts for that.
Yeah.
People coming out.
But they listen. They know, the reason they laugh at my stand-up is because they know exactly what I mean.
Oh, well, that's the one great thing about stand-up, or if you could look at it the other way, a terrible thing, is that you can't buy even 1 minute of their love if you're not really doing it.
Right.
Like, no matter how big a star you are, you can't fake laughter.
You can't fake
You can
it.
do it for a minute. A crowd will be like so excited to see a star walk out that they'll give you a minute of just nervous laughter. After that, you are on your own.
You're on your own.
You are just the day you started doing comedy.
No different.
It's no different. And there is something about that honesty that appeals to us in a way that nothing else in the business can.
Nothing out like it when there's a couple bits that are
It's
vintage
honest.
bits that's more about timing.
It's earned.
And they're starting to laugh, and I says, you wait till you see what's coming. And Pryor did it to me. Saw him. I thought I was going to throw up. I laughed so frickin' hard at that guy. And everything changed in my life.
Happens to you a lot.
Oh, man. Well, I was about
You're
ready.
going to throw up.
Yeah, we're going to throw
People
up in
are
here.
funny. You have to leave. If I don't make you vomit or shit in your pants tonight, I'm going to feel like a total failure.
Put it in the holding tank because it's the black water and the gray water, and there's a little vent.
Gray Water, I feel like, is a good name for a tribute band.
That gray water, that's good.
You know, like,
And
like
wait a minute.
I don't know.
Doobie Brothers did have black water.
There you go. Doobie Brothers.
I never thought about
Black Water.
Black water. This is Black
The
Water.
tribute band that gets rid of your shit.
Oh God, I shouldn't have brought that up because I love the Doobie Brothers.
I do too.
In concert back then, great band. Same with Springsteen.
I mean, that's where we get the term doobie, is it not?
Yeah, is it?
I think so. Yes, I think they were known as tokers of medical marijuana.
What did they do? I don't know. Jay Giles' band. I saw it. I was the booking guy for my
now
university.
You've lost a lot of the audience. Not me, but you've lost a lot of them. Jay Giles.
Jay Giles' band. It's called Full House. It's, gold or yellow album cover. The cards are all across. I was the booking agent for my college. I went to see bands to book for a thing. Some guy said, you got to go with me down to the Cinderella Ballroom in Detroit. Captain Hook and the Medicine Show opened up. Halfway through their act, the crowd's going, boo, get off the stage. They want to see Jay Giles' band. I go, this is rude. That band came in. My life was, I didn't throw up, but the over hour and a half, I've never seen a concert that hot where it's over and you're sweating because you were dancing the whole time. That band was so rockabilly. End up booking them, got them.
Tim, come back in 10 years when I'm 80 and say Jay Giles, and I guarantee you I'm going to say, is that my law firm?
Wait a minute. Is that those two Hispanic guys that stand on the buses?
Yeah.
The two brothers.
So are you a fan of like a lot of obscure? I feel like Jay Giles' band is fairly obscure.
Well, it was a platinum album, so I don't know.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, maybe there was one. There's like, remember Boz Scaggs?
Oh, yeah.
That one album he had?
Oh, yeah.
That like every song was a hit. Every song was.
We're
All Alone? Remember that song?
I love it.
Is that not the greatest ballad ever?
A little embarrassing. I'm working in Vancouver, a big venue, outdoors, sold out. Boz Scaggs came by. His manager goes, Boz Scaggs is a big fan of yours, Tim Allen. I go, well, great. And it's this huge venue. And I see, he's here. Yeah, he's playing tonight. I go, well, is there another venue? He goes, no. He goes, where are you playing? Are you in the amphitheater? I go, yeah, where's he? He's in the bar. And I went, oh, that would.
Come on.
Yeah.
The bar.
Yeah. Our bar, with 50 people drinking. He's in the lounge in the bar, Boz Scaggs. I went, oh.
It's a paying gig?
Yeah, it's a gig. I've done I've been on the road where I go to gigs that I see major freaking guys.
I once was in Vegas and Gary Puckett and the Union Cap.
Well,
what do you mean? Well,
it's
they had 4 giant hits in 1968.
Yeah.
Do you remember 1968? I know you do.
It's Cars. Chevy. They made a great Camaro. Yeah.
What?
Chevy made a great Camaro in '68.
Oh my God! What is it with comics and cars? You and Leno and Seinfeld and like what is this? I have no connection to cars. What is this comic car thing?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But did you see Newhart and Rickles do their bit on this?
No. Maybe I forgot.
Oh Christ, it's funny.
About what?
Rickles was dogging Newhart the whole time because they're best of friends.
That I knew.
What a loser he is.
Yeah.
And Newhart goes, yeah, it's tough, But the lounge worked good for you. Well, I was in the major. He was good.
Rickles worked the lounges.
He worked the lounge, and Newhart was in the showroom.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And
that makes sense.
He constantly mentioned it, and he goes, yeah, that's right, Don. But, my wife and I would always see you out there in the lounge. We'd catch you after the big show, and we'd all have dinner. And then Rickles, I love those two together. I love those. That was
I love them together or separately.
Separately.
I mean, like when I was a kid, when Rickles was on The Tonight Show.
Loved it.
That was like occasion, especially if it was the summer when we could stay up. I feel like it was often that.
Jonathan Winters.
Because Johnny would come out to the West Coast in the summer, remember?
Yeah.
Like it was a big thing, The Tonight Show on the West Coast. And Rickles would come on, and it was like an occasion for the family to gather around the hearth that was the television, the Magnavox or whatever we were watching.
The hearth. And Jonathan Winters, brilliant pieces on The Tonight Show. Charles Grodin was brilliant.
Charles Grodin was a great talk show guest because he was the only one who would like make Johnny uncomfortable.
I know, it looks like he didn't want to be there. Boy, how much longer
and would get into, the paradox of Johnny Carson was he was the biggest star. To no matter who he was talking to, he was a bigger star, which is an odd sort of thing because the bigger star is asking the lesser star questions. But that's why Johnny was gracious on the show, at least.
On the show.
He was like, oh, let's hear about you. I'm interested.
He was wonderful at that. Made you feel
absolutely.
It made you feel it was all about you.
Right.
He was really good at that.
He was also a giant thief. He stole the Answer Man.
And Lifesavers from
Lock,
local...
Stock, and Tomahawk from Steve Allen.
Right.
He stole Aunt Blabby, Lock, Stock, and Tomahawk, and made it into, his Aunt Blabby was Jonathan Winters, some other character that Jonathan Winters do. When Johnny used to get into the dress and the wig and do Aunt Blabby, he was just completely ripping off. He did it shamelessly. Johnny was a hard man.
What would it take to get back on doing concerts? Just too much prep for you?
A combination of things. One, I'm 70. I don't sleep well on the road.
Yeah.
And if you don't sleep well, you don't shit. If you don't shit...
Here we go. There we go.
I wasn't even going to go there.
Here we fucking go.
I wasn't even going to go there.
And I just bought a new walker, so got that.
No, but like...
But it's chrome.
It's
beautiful. It's an Hermes walker.
Also, like the people who run hotels, I don't know what happened with that generation, but they're either stoned or they're disaffected or whatever, but they can't do simple things. And the hotels themselves, I'm talking about 5-star hotels. This was annoying, using a private plane and 5-star hotels. There was still so much aggravation with going on the road. I mean, I stayed at the Plaza Hotel, which they were so nice. They would black out the windows. They volunteered to do it. We heard Bill Sleeps Late will do like the Elvis thing with the silver foil. Oh, I mean, they could not have been nicer. And then one time I stayed there and the TV didn't work and couldn't work. And they sent up an engineer and they couldn't get it to work. I was like, okay, I guessed TV, that could happen once. I'm not going to throw them under the bus. I stayed there the second time, TV didn't work again. I was like, you fucking people can't make a TV work in a 5-star hotel.
Well, it's difficult to explain. Make it seem like it's your fault. That's how to get to... television isn't as popular as it used to be.
And yet you have managed to have all these sitcoms, like in an era when they don't do it anymore. It's really...
But these days, people literally go, what's ABC?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You literally have kids.
Oh, absolutely.
At my younger daughter's.
What's television?
What's television?
Kind of.
They're like this.
Like, oh, no.
Is TV on here? Can I get it here? I take her to a movie because we love our movie night, and she's watching the movie like this. The movie's on, and I go, "Hey," she goes, "I got it." Like she's so used to this 7-second intervals on Instagram or Snatch Chat or whatever the hell she was, and she goes,
"Click dick, Tim."
Click.
It's called click dick.
I get it. I just don't. I don't know where it goes. And then the little one, my older one, is back to TV again a little bit. But I said this: the situation now is curious because I work at ABC, and it's all about what ABC can do for Hulu.
Yeah, sure.
And I said, so what? So. Why are we doing 8 episodes? It used to be 22.
Right.
And I get what sounds like this, but I'm sure they go, it's a complication of analysis. And as serious people will sit down and go, just, could you slow that down one more time? I think I heard the first part, Tim. It's simple. We have, there's a matrix that we have that I feel so stupid. I thought, phew, I've got this.
That's funny.
And then I got a major player at one of my studio people. Ship has sailed. It's a simpler system. People like this. And I snapped. It was when I was helping SAG and the AFL. The unions, all of us were talking about this strike. And I was involved in this. I said, just outline, we're not trying to get more money, we're just trying to get what's coming to us. But you've taken away residuals and all this. It's simple, the ship has sailed.
Nothing better than getting a good comic mad about something.
It is.
It really is like the best thing you can do.
Is get them angry.
Get a good comic mad about something.
Well, I still say
and
this.
It just something takes over.
You've been to Vegas many times. You say, gambling is only good for the casinos. There's one guy, because I don't gamble, and the guy...
Just like self-help books are only good for the self-help authors.
The author, right.
They do fantastic.
The guy in Vegas, I was up at like 3 a.m. with John Fox, and we were running around downstairs, and I go, people screaming at craps. And I told one of the guys, teach me craps. And he goes, that's like showing somebody how to do heroin. He goes, if you don't have any interest in it, You're better off just
Right.
giving the doorman $100. Help
Right.
him out. But you're never going to win.
Right.
This hotel is huge
Right.
because of losers.
It is exactly.
It's losers. This whole
Right.
thing is losing.
It's the greatest industry in the world. People give you money for nothing.
For nothing. And,
Right. And
then-
Trump couldn't make it work.
No.
He couldn't make work an industry where people give you money
you
for
money
nothing.
Was he gaming? Was he?
It was Atlantic City.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You said when you said he wanted to be a producer,
Well,
I had never heard that. You know what? That's the plot of the Elmore Leonard movie with John Travolta.
Wow, good one.
What? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Chili Palmer.
Yeah.
What is that movie? What is that?
Shit.
There's
live
like
near
two.
me in Michigan.
There's like two of them. They're great.
Yeah. he's a
Travolta's great in them.
And he's
But
a
he's the guy. He's the gangster who wants to be a movie producer.
Well, that's right. What is that?
What is that? It's
Wow.
a famous movie. I'm stoned. You're
Well,
not. You
but-
should
but-
be able to come up with it.
Trump-
But it's
Trump goes
and
in-
there's a sequel. They're both fantastic.
Trump looked at me and he goes, well, what? And we're talking about, it was the Academy Award winner was not Game of Thrones, the other one, The Hobbit, not The Hobbit. It was the 4 movies, trilogy.
Rings, Lord of the
Lord
Rings.
of the Rings. And he goes, that was a funny bit that he stole. He used it. He says, what do you think's going to win? I go, it's Lord of the Rings. It's up there with 3 movies. He goes, is it good? I go, actually, for that sort of movie, I've read the book, and it's very well done. He goes, I should watch that. And I go, Don, it's 3 2-hour movies. It's 6 hours. I mean, I don't know, your plane flight. And he goes, well, I could watch it in no, Don, you're rich enough. You could get somebody to watch it for you. He cackled. He laughed so fucking hard at that. And then he does it. I hear it on the...
Now, they hated me when I reported that he listens to you and that he laughs and that he never once, objected when I contradicted him or
Right.
went up against him. He's a completely different guy.
Different guy in person.
Right. My friend says he has undiagnosed Tourette syndrome when he gets out in front of the camera.
In front of the camera with the
And
phone.
that he does. I think that's what it
It's
but
Tourette's. It's
but when you're behind the scene, when you're just privately with him, these people, you're going to humanize him. Well, I hate to tell you, he's a human.
He's a granddad.
He's a human who is the president. So you're going to have to talk to him no matter what you think.
Right.
It's just so stupid.
But what got him, he goes, so what was the movie he was talking about? And he said, so if we got a studio together, let's say the movie cost, $1.6 million or back then $1.2 million, and then I said, you got to double that at least for the promotion. So you got 210 into a movie, 200 million. He goes, and what if the ticket sales are slow? You lose. And he goes, yeah, but you got to make up the loss somehow. How do you make up the loss? I said, well, there'll be some tax benefit, but you lose the money. That's how come the studios struggle. They're looking for winners. You amortize your loss with losers over winners. He goes, oh. And I go, he completely decided at that moment, I'm not going to get in this business. He says, if I buy a bad building
right.
and it won't sell, I still have the fucking building.
Right.
If you have a shitty movie.
No.
And he says, no, this is not an easy business.
Every movie is like a startup company.
Yes.
I mean, a startup, if an angel in Silicon Valley gives you $200 million for a startup business, which they do, that's a big business.
Right.
But that's what a high-end movie costs.
Right.
That's a startup. And maybe it's going to be a success, and maybe it's going to be a big loser.
And it said the fact that these guys did it, and I got it. Things have changed, and I don't know where we are right now, where people go, the people that have visions that Alan at Disney, Alan Bergman, he has this passion that it used to be like the latest animated movie from Disney, and it slips from my mind. I saw a look in his face, and it's going to beat the Tom Cruise movie that was the new one for
Maverick?
No, the new one where he was in the
Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible. And it did. It beat it at the box office, one of these things. And they had that passion again, where it used to be on the Radford lot. There was cottages all along the side where writers would come out. How about this? How about this? And we've lost that. There isn't.
You were really smart to get into cartoons. No, really.
Well,
I mean, that's where the business
yeah,
went.
but what I'm saying is that there's been a couple big stars. This is the business out here is not the business that I signed up for a long time ago. The passion was to entertain people.
Yeah, but I bet the money is.
It's not like it used to be.
Come on.
No.
Toy Story?
Oh, that.
What do you think we're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the way the sitcom.
Or Santa Claus. I mean, they're both.
the movies, but when
mean,
you do streaming,
They can't do
everything's-
either one of them without you.
Yeah, but
when you have that kind of leverage, come on.
However, the
Yeah, it's
movie,
it's almost like you could buy your own plane.
gotta go there again.
That I flew it.
But it's a Messerschmitt.
It was
so
red
it
on the
it was
inside,
cheap.
as I remember.
Yes.
What's with the red?
No, that's not mine.
No?
That was the old
Okay.
one. I have another one.
Oh, you have another one.
I have a fleet.
I guess I got the old one. Yeah, now I find out about you, Tim Allen. I get the shitty old plane.
No.
No, I was always happy to have it.
But it said, in my defense,
I never wanted to own.
I love airplanes. And because if you don't love them,
Oh, well, certainly we love private planes.
well, no, but I loved it. That's what I'm saying. I flew on one time for Disney, and they took me to 2 cities for home improvement, and they said, we're going to get you to Florida. And I said, we're fly into Atlanta. And for instance, they said, the person at Disney said, why don't you just use the plane? I go, I'm not going to ask the studio to use the plane. She goes, we fly people to Cabo for a fishing trip, and you're going to go to 5 cities to sell $1 billion worth of product. I think you deserve to take the plane. But don't pause when you ask for it. Just say, send me the plane. Don't say, please, if it's okay, if you have enough gas.
I did a thing about 2 years ago. I should send it to you if you haven't seen it, about like people who take private planes. And I was just like saying, I mean, it was a whole thing about the environmental, which I would like to think I'm still an environmentalist. I certainly think there is an environmental crisis. But I was saying, we have tried for 50 years to try the method of shaming people into doing what's right. Plainly, that doesn't work on Americans.
Well, you know who did it
And I'm
best? You know who said it best was the Terminator, Schwarzenegger. And he said it by one of those things that you want to get annoyed by him. And nobody gives a shit about climate change. He said that. Remember he said it? He
Pretty
goes,
good.
nobody cares about climate change. Pause. Pollution, we understand. The word
Oh,
climate
right.
change is so broad, that you go,
Yes.
oh, we can't. Because
Right.
you
Pollution.
You can handle pollution.
Things of that nature.
And I so agree with them. Climate change is real. I get it. What can I do about it?
Right.
Use less plastic. I put solar on my house. Anything I can do to lower my carbon footprint.
Well, all that bullshit that you did, Tim, didn't add up to 1/1,000,000th of the trips you've taken on that. And I took
Here we
just
go
on your.
again.
No, but it's true. But
you can't private plane shame me.
But no, I don't. That was the point of the bit I did.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, we have tried this. I'm an environmentalist. I believe it's a problem. But using a cloth bag is not going to fix it.
That's
and
it.
the plastic, by the way, that everyone separates, like 95% of it winds up where it was going to anyway, which is the ocean. So just don't fuck with me. And then I showed a picture of every celebrity who claims to be a giant environmentalist.
Don't get me started
getting
on that.
on a
So I
private
don't
plane.
say it.
So, like, as long as there's 6,000 flights a day, me doing one more, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be on Greta's sailboat, okay? Because I hear getting the shit off that thing is a mess.
No, but I said that Arnold comment, I said, I really like his frame of mind on many things, but that one, he's so right. Give me a problem I can deal with the wording of climate change. It makes everybody feel helpless. And
You're right.
There's nothing like
It's too big.
It's nothing like feeling helpless to get people to do nothing.
They had a strike in Paris a few years ago, the Yellow Jacket strike, and it was about, Macron, who I think is a very smart guy and wants to get in on the climate issue, and it's all valid. But the guy said, he's thinking about the end of the world. I'm thinking about the end of the month.
Yes.
And that says a lot. It really epitomizes what a lot of people think. And you have to find a way to square that circle if you're going to make it work. Because if you're not going to do something that practically works, then we're just fucking jerking each other off,
Right.
putting the plastic in a separate bag. Fuck you if you made me do that all these years and it just went to the same place. You're just jerking me off.
Went to DWP for the History Channel and watched what they do. Number one, I was always mad at the DWP for a variety of reasons until I went down there and saw the people that do the frickin' work for us in Los Angeles.
Department of Water and Power.
Yeah, they build the power wires and the grids, and they do so much.
Right.
And there were so many frickin' hardworking people down there. I was
Absolutely.
ashamed at what I felt because they don't do in my neighborhood. Streets are corrupt. They do these big cisterns and clean out that black and brown water. I'm talking about when you're dumping
Gotta
that.
be done.
They ought to be done. And they did recycle. And you look at how difficult it is, and in a way, there's just nothing to do with it. You know, they recycle metal with this big machine that the magnet takes reusable metal. That's okay. And think of the energy that it takes to take the metal away from the other metal and then store it and put it back and heat it up to turn it into metal. It's.
I mean, and also there's the problem of nobody wants it in their backyard.
Right.
I mean, nuclear waste. They tried to put it in Yucca Mountain. Remember
Right.
Yucca
Yeah.
Mountain?
Well, it's still
like everyone was like, "Who gives a shit about Yucca Mountain?" Oh wait, they're going to put nuclear waste there.
Right.
That's 100 miles away. You can't do that.
Well,
to me.
as I said,
where?
You look at the whole overview. There was a Texas company that I had read that they're getting much cleaner coal, 60% cleaner. So look, where you can, use coal. Where you can, smaller nuclear reactors, not these big ones that are very difficult to screw up. You don't want the ones that can screw up. Definitely don't want that. And then one guy said all the nuclear waste, this is probably 6 years ago, would be a 6-foot high square that would fill up a football field. That's all the nuclear waste on the planet. He said when you look at it that way, that's not very much.
It's workable.
It's workable. You know, you don't want to put it now where they're thinking is put it in one of your homes here because you've got so many homes on this property that you're not using.
That's not the truth.
Well, no, I've been told by your staff that if you have,
that's not true.
Well,
don't make it.
I
like,
mean, I've talked to the.
I live very modestly.
I talked to the staff of the staff because you have a lot. There's people that work for the people that
well,
work.
I have people who talk to the staff.
To
for
the
me.
staff.
You don't expect me to talk directly to the staff.
Fuck, you don't know eye contact. That's how I get along. You do not want looking at these people. I don't know what they eat. I don't care what they eat. Just don't eat it here.
They eat what they get on the land,
That's right.
okay? Whatever they can forage for on the land
of the
is
table.
what the peasants get.
I totally go by that.
Christ.
I just eat a lot, and I scoot some of it off the table.
But it sounds like you could be setting yourself up for a political run. You would actually be very successful. You're iconic. You're middle of the road. You're middle of the country. If you ran as an old school blue dog Democrat,
Why the word old?
Well, you're old.
With a new chrome walker.
We can't elide that. We are who we are at the age we are. We're not Biden era old. We're not there. We are totally. You look. I'm telling you. You have aged as well as you can. That's the only realistic compliment I can give you.
I'm laughing but crying inside.
Yeah, you are not.
You've aged as well as you can.
You absolutely have. You have hair. You're not fat.
Right.
Your skin looks good.
No, but still the way I heard it. You've aged as well.
Your skin looks good. You mentioned your dermatologist, which was a little weird for a man. You're wearing jeans.
Right.
You're
a dermatologist. You missed skin cancer 5 times. The lady at the Today Show noticed it. She's going, I'm not a dermatologist, but there's something on your nose.
Really?
This is 2 years. I did Jimmy Fallon, and then I did it next to the Today Show.
Oh.
And she goes, I see you haven't done anything. And I'm going, I have a very prominent dermatologist in Beverly Hills. And so the bit was, he goes like this. I said, hey, Doc, would you take a look at this thing on my nose? First time I've ever seen him go, hold on a minute. He put glasses on for the first time in 30 years. I go, how long have you worn glasses? He goes, I don't like how I look in them. And then he sees my nose. No. He looks at my nose and he goes, oh, shit. Janice, get Paul in here and my lawyer. And they all come in, and he goes, yeah, I screwed up. That's a melanoma Carson, and he works for Netflix now. And they cut half my fucking nose off, which is a whole nother story. Send me to a breast cancer guy that could take it off, but
I don't see anything.
Well, now he did a good job. He said, I'm going to have to cut most of your nose off. And he said it like that. And I go, let me explain what I do for a living. Unless I'm going to do Blazing Saddles with the guy with the silver nose, you have to leave some of my fucking nose on so I can do comedy without doing 20 minutes on having no nose. No, but it all worked out. The guy was good. The surgeon was good.
Wow.
But I said, I don't know why.
Amazingly good.
Yeah, well, that's dermatologically. That's.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, man.
This is such a pleasure.
Oh, God, I'm telling you.
Really? You had a good time?
Is there any place to... Are we ever going to get out of here? Or
yes.
Yeah, you're locked in.
I'm getting you off
We're
right
locked in here?
No. There's a bathroom right there. Or
it's too late.
Or
Club. Random.
whatever you want to do. We're just all you have to do is take a picture.
This is fun.
This was so much fun.
Damn.
Club. Random.